cannot able to hear your voice. You can able to listen my speech clearly. So first of all, thank you so much for the invitation from SJBIT, and I'm going to take 40-50 minutes of your time to share a couple of things what NI can do for you and how you can able
So,
to
can't
use.
hear your voice, sir. It's like a murmuring, sir.
Mr. Vishwashar.
Audible? Am I audible? Hello? Can able to hear? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, fine. So thank you so much for the invitation, and I would like to take your 40-50 minutes of your time to give an overview about how NI tools, National Instruments tools, can help you at this point of time because we all are at home and we really wanted to do something effective, efficiently, so that it will build up a good career path for us in future. So I'm going to share a couple of things what National Instruments is doing and how you can use National Instruments technology in this period to upskill yourself. The theme which I proposed was do engineering. We all are by looking at the participants list. I can able to understand most of you from engineering colleges pursuing second year or third year or final year, and variety of engineering streams from electrical, electronics, instrumentation, and mechanical. So this particular technology, what you are going to see, it is not limited to one specific engineering department. All of you can able to leverage using this technology for your application. Okay. The motivation behind for doing this webinar from my side, when I got a request from Professor Ravi Kumar sir and head of the department from SJBIT to give a introductory talk, I was very encouraged. I also happy to interact with you all because of the simple reason your learning should not stop at any point of time. So I also happen to get this link from Newsers. AICT also efficiently promoting lot of online training courses, online skill development courses through their a portal called ELIS, Enhancement in Learning with Improvement in Skills. So this is the one big motivation why I wanted to interact with you all and share what National Instruments can do for you at this point of time. Okay, to be very frank, it is not only National Instruments is conducting a webinar or only LGBT is doing this initiative. You would have been seen almost hundreds of companies came forward, hundreds of institutions came forward, hundreds of organizations came forward and wanted to support the academic community to continue their learning. I respect all the academicians, all the initiatives taken by different organizations at this unprecedented time. The point which I wanted to make it clear is NI is one such leading company wanted to support the academic community. I will go with why NI. When there are hundreds of courses available, what is the need for going with NI tools-based learning in the next 1 week or 10 days time? The first reason I wanted to share with you all is the tools of National Instruments used by almost 35,000 industries worldwide in variety of sectors, starting from aerospace, defense organizations, industries like semiconductor organizations, Qualcomm, Broadcom, Infineon, ON Microelectronics, AMS Semiconductor, etc. Industries like textiles, petrochemical industries, food processing industries, automotive industries, which are very popular in Chennai region as well as in Pune region, medical instruments, medical devices, all these variety of sectors uses National Instruments tools. To name few, these are all our top user industries in the market. You can see a different spectrum of industries. 85% of Fortune 500 companies, they use National Instruments tools for design, prototyping, deployment, application, testing, and verification validations. At the same time, if you look at the academic institutions, National Instruments tools are used more than 8,000 universities around the world. Some of you thinking of pursuing your masters in universities like MIT or Stanford or Purdue or NUS, NTU, etc. So those institutions are using National Instrument tools almost more than 20-25 years of time. If you look at the R&D organizations, it's a very big number again in India as well as outside India, including NASA, including SpaceX, including organizations like DRDO, ISRO Labs, IPR, SCL, HAL, all these organizations, they use National Instruments tools. So the one such good time you can spend with the National Instruments technology is, number one, the wide spectrum of industry uses our tools. I have shown a couple of industry leaders who use our tools for design to testing to prototype to deployment, and universities across the globe as well as the R&D organizations. Okay. Now the next part of my presentation is what is happening around the world. I don't want to talk too much very specifically about the current unprecedented situation. I also wanted to give you other few perspective what is happening around the world. This is one of my favorite slide, which talks about 65% of the children entering into primary school today, when they get into engineering and become an engineer or graduate, the type of jobs which we are seeing are not available in those, likely to be not available in those time. For example, 5 years before, nobody spoke about digital marketing. Nobody spoke about the way we are talking today on artificial intelligence or industrial IoT or quantum computing, etc. So the kind of jobs which these technologies created today, I don't think so the same technology will be available after 5 years or 10 years or 15 years down the line. So this is one of the challenge what we all are going to see in the future. Look at another interesting slide from IEEE Spectrum Journal. They were talking about the 2020, the current year, what we all are, will be the reality of 5G. You might have been read in the newspapers, in the channels. Already the 5G base station tower was established in Mount Everest. There are companies in Singapore who has won the bid to provide 5G access in consumer level. You also seen in the recent past companies like OnePlus, companies like Apple, in their next version of mobile phone, they are going to bring the 5G access of network. So the kind of technology which we are accessing today, probably far better once things like 5G and 6G get into the reality. And another interesting slide, we are ready with the fully autonomous vehicles in the next year time period. You might have been heard companies like SpaceX, some companies like Facebook, Google invest a lot of money to develop and come out with a fully autonomous vehicle, and we are having a partially autonomous vehicles available in our roads today. And to be very frank, whether India is going to have the access of the fully autonomous vehicle or not, that is a secondary issue. But to be very frank, the whole market, our whole world is going to ready with the fully autonomous vehicle in next 1 year time period. It's another interesting slide from Cisco, one of the recent magazine article I read it. They were targeting and estimating somewhere close to 50 billion devices get connected each other in the current year. We all seen the number of people started accessing internet, number of people started accessing the video conferencing, online based learning, etc. gone very, very high in the last 45 days in the whole world. So this is another way interesting to note. Whatever Cisco estimated of having 50 billion devices connected each other is true in this year itself. Another interesting statement from United Nations, the world population projected as 8.5 billion, which is somewhere close to 850 crore in the next 10 to 12 years time. In India itself, you were aware, we have a population of somewhere close to 1.3 billion, right? The very interesting point to note here is in a future of 5 to 6 years, if you look at anywhere in the world, a group of 8 to 10 people, there is a very high likely probability of having one Indian in that group. There are another interesting slides, very specifically because we have a huge population in the world, somewhere close to 4 million deaths were happened because of the air pollution, and 2 billion of people have access of only contaminated water. And today, if we talk about, because we do not have a very good healthcare system, because of the COVID-19 situations, we lost somewhere close to 2.5 lakhs of people across the globe. Okay, by looking at all this last 6-7 slides, the connectivity among the people is going to become exponential. 50 billion devices are going to get connected. The transportation systems are going to evolve to the level of autonomous vehicle, fully autonomous vehicle. At the same time, if you look at the populations are going to become very high. At the same time, we are going to face the problem like pollution, healthcare, and the water scarcity. So I wanted to summarize all these challenges in front of us as a 21st century problem. So there is a very beautiful article from NAE, National Academy of Engineering. They listed, hey, these are the top 10 or 12 grand engineering challenge. I excluded purposefully the peace part, the poverty part from this list. I wanted to showcase what are the technology level challenges we are going to face in a global level, as well as in India, we call it as a sustainable development goals. So you can read yourself. Personalized learning, we all are experienced today, right? So we wanted to have the way to learn or continue to learn in a personal level. Making the solar energy economical. We all proudly say, yes, we have a solar system in our home or in our terrace, but is it economical, energy economical? Advanced healthcare, virtual reality, better medicines, cyberspace, when everything going to become cyber enabled, how much secured system we have to access all this, manage the nitrogen cycle, energy fusion, nuclear terror, reverse engineering. And very interestingly, we should know the tools for scientific discovery. When all these challenges are going to dominate in the current century of our life, it is very important to note what kind of tools and technology we have so that the innovation can happen fast. You know the story of Nokia. Because they are not able to adopt the technology 15 years before, today they are finding difficult to survive in this market. The same way, if we don't know how to adopt the technology of digital and the physical parallelly, it is very, very difficult for us to innovate fast. And the era what we are living today, it is very important to do something very, very fast. And we should use the right tools which will help us to innovate at that pace. Okay, researchers you might have been interacted with your faculty member who are all pursuing PhD or postdoctorate, etc. They always try to find what nobody knows. Most of the time as a student, we will try to discover what we don't know. That's why we are here, right? We don't know what is this National Instruments technology, what is this LabVIEW. That's why we wanted to discover what we don't know. But it is very important again to note from both the sides, neither a researcher nor a student, how fast the discovery can happen. And the era which we are living, which is called the 21st century, if you look at it, is more complex system we are. We call it as a industry 4.0. We call it as a cyber physical systems. We call it as a tools with or technology with the AR, VR, AI, etc. But to make it very simple, it is not like a previous centuries where we have only the physical systems or we have only the automation systems. But today, the systems, what we are going to work, either it may be a mechatronics or robotics or cyber-based system, all these are very, very complex and we should prepare to the level how the students can innovate fast. The question, big question in front of us, how do we prepare? So I have some thoughts to share very specifically what kind of skills we should have so that we will be ready for industry, not only tomorrow, in the future. When I say future, it is not limited to 2 year or 3 year or 5 year or 10 year. You all are 20 plus year old students. Your life is next to 40 to 50 years minimum. You should have a continuous learning because the technologies are because the technologies are going to evolve so fast. The first input which I wanted to give it to you all is convergence. What is the convergence? There are
Mr. Ravi Kumar, you please find out who is not unmuted and ask him to mute, please.
Thank you. So the first input which I wanted to share is convergence. So the convergence is nothing but working in multiple domains. For example, let us take robotics as application. When you want to build a robo, you cannot be like a mechanical engineer who can do everything in building a robot. You should know how to drive the motor, which is the electrical portion. You should know how to program a robot, which is a computer science portion. You should know how to communicate with the robot, which is a electronics and communication engineers portion. Today, you know, the drones are playing a very critical role in doing many support activities in the current situation. So building a system like this, drones or robotics, etc., requires an interdisciplinary learning and working environment. That's the reason there are many universities in India, they have a BE or BTech, electronics and communication engineering as a program, but you have a flexibility to learn non-ECE courses, for example, Java programming or LabVIEW programming or MATLAB programming, or even to the level you can learn some subjects which is design thinking, which is something like robotics, which may not be part of your electronics and communication curriculum. So the students, if you want to be employable for future, the first change which you have to bring in your teaching learning process is convergence. The second message I wanted to give you is what companies are looking for. Are they looking for how much you are good at your ECE or electrical electronic subjects marks, or are they looking for something different? Yes, the marks are important. I agree. The percentages are whatever the percentage you are scoring in the examinations are important, but there are some specific skills today. Industries have come out and they are listing out, hey, I'm willing to compromise if they are not good at engineering, but I don't want to compromise with these skill sets. For example, communication skills. For example, understanding of engineering fundamentals, ability to prioritize, team working skills. Whatever the fundamentals you are learning, do you know how to apply those skills into a problem to solve? Out of box thinking, ability to deal with the complex problems. So these are all the skills what industry is looking for other than your 70% or 8 CGPA. To be very frank, there are some companies I have seen in their career web page, they stopped putting the credentials such as you should have 7 CGPA or 8 CGPA, etc. They very clearly communicating, hey, I want the candidate or students who have the skills of the specific programming language, the specific certifications, which will tell them how much they know in that programming language. These particular fundamentals of engineering, they will specifically mention the candidate should be good at sensors. The candidate should be good at algorithm development, along with team working skills, problem solving skills, applying the foundation knowledge or fundamental knowledge in project, etc. So it is very important for you to build these skills. I'm sure you all have these skills. You know what is meaning of all these skills. It is very important to demonstrate in the next 1 year or 2 years, whenever you are in the college time, to build and demonstrate to the industry at the time of recruitment. How do you demonstrate? So you should be in the position to build a project where you can able to apply all your foundation knowledge, fundamental knowledge, and you should be in the position to showcase you are working as a team. The team should have a computer science, electrical, electronics, even MBA, because today it is very important. It is not just developing a product. It is not just showcasing your idea in a prototype level. It is working. You should also take to the level. It is a marketable. It is sellable. It is societal impact. Unless otherwise you bring that flavor in your project, people will think, okay, you are good at level of showcasing something as a prototype, but you don't know how to bring a value system for that project which you are developing. So it is very important. You should be in the position to work together as a team with the multiple departments so that these skills are demonstrated to the employers. The third thing is, as I told you earlier, the children who are all getting into the school today, when they become an engineer or graduate, the kind of jobs which we are seeing on today's market will not be existence in those times. So it is a big challenge to all of us. Okay, then what should I learn? Should I learn IoT today, or should I learn 5G, or should I learn smart grid? What kind of learnings I should have? If you look at my slide, I split into 3 columns. The centerpiece I named as core concepts, which is nothing but circuits, control systems, signal processing, sensors and actuators, etc. So these are all I called as a core, irrespective of the engineering. Whether you want to build a robot, or whether you want to build a UAV, or whether you want to build a ATM machine, or any of your interesting choice of your application, the core engineering cannot be compromised. So you should be in the position to understand with hands-on approach on these concepts. That is the first thing you should know. Once you have these core concepts very clear to you, then you can go to the left-hand side portion and the right extreme portion, which is called the subsystem and main system. The subsystems are nothing but a part of your main system, the right extreme. Most of you may be aware and noted that there is a group of scientists already started, or researchers already started working on 6G. Companies like Samsung, companies like Qualcomm, already they identified a group of experts to work on the new radio. Similarly, today we are talking about IoT, IIoT, which is the industrial Internet of Things. There is another group already started talking about IoE, which is the Internet of Everything. So the big challenge in front of us is the right extreme portion we cannot control. That is market driven. What we can control is the middle portion, getting more deeper, more hands-on in those engineering concepts. As long as you are thorough in the fundamentals of engineering, core engineering concepts, what will happen? Okay. I think my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, right. Thank you. So as long as you are strong in the core engineering concepts, whatever the changes happening in the right extreme portion in terms of technology like 6G or IoE or microgrid, etc., you don't need to worry too much because you are foundationally strong and you have a hands-on experience. And this is the third thing I want you to take away from this session. The fourth thing is try to learn how fast you can fail. The meaning of fail you should take in a right sense. That means spend more time in the lab. If you are going to a lab and if you are doing an experiment and getting an answer in the first attempt, there is something wrong in your approach or in the experiment itself. Unless otherwise you have an opportunity to fail yourself doing multiple times, you cannot innovate. And that is what Edison proved by doing 10,000 ways of not working to find the inventions, right? So this is another very important thing. As a student, you should have a approach. If you are not getting output in the first time, you should feel like, okay, I'm learning. And that is what the expert says. Every problem when you want to solve, there are two approaches. I won't say two approaches, two outputs it will give you. One is a success, the other one is a failure. If you succeed in your first attempt, what will happen? You are missing a lot of learnings. But if you fail in multiple ways, and each failure will give you learning, and each learning will give you not success, confidence. That confidence will tell you, okay, I'm not really bothered about getting a job, even though the market is bad, because I'm fundamentally good. I know how to build a career. That confidence will make you to do innovations. You can start your own business. You can become an incubator. You can become an enterprise. All these things were possible because you have a foundation knowledge very, very strong with hands-on experience. And that is what you should acquire as one of the biggest skill when you are in the college premises. Okay, now I'll come back to what National Instruments do. National Instruments make your journey better, career journey better with our tools. So as I mentioned in my slides, 35,000 industries worldwide, 8,000 universities around the world, good number of R&D organizations, all use National Instruments tools because of the very simple reason, the tools will help you to accelerate your productivity, innovation, and discover things faster. See, you don't have infinite time. You have 3 months if you are in a final semester student to complete your project. And if you come to any industry in future, you will be given with a deadline of project which you have to develop or product you have to develop. It will be 6 months or it will be 9 months or it will be not more than 1 year, because any company who spends time more than 1 year developing a product, it is a very big risk which they are inviting, because those products will become obsolete, it will become outdated, all these challenges they have to face. So it is very important to use the right tools which will help the engineers and scientists to become more productive and innovate and discover things faster. And that is what National Instrument does last 40 years being in the market. For simple example, if I take it to academic community, in your second year to final year, some of the subjects I listed here, what you will be typically learning in your third or fourth or 6th, 7th semesters. For what? You wanted to build a UAV in your final year as a project or final semester as a project. Most of the colleges today, they are evolved to the level telling the students, hey, if you want to become an engineer working at Qualcomm or Broadcom or Intel-based companies, which is the semiconductor-based industries, or if you want to become a robotics engineer or UAV engineer, drones engineer, and you wanted to develop a products like this in the first year, please remember, I'm telling this introduction will happen in the first year, and they will tell if this is your interest to become after 3 years of engineering degree, please make it sure you will learn these subjects thoroughly, hands-on based learning in your second year and third year. Subjects like sensors, subjects like circuits, data acquisition, signal processing, control systems, software-defined radio, how to build embedded systems, etc. Because you wanted to become an engineer to develop a UAV. So unless otherwise, this information known to you, you will learn mathematics 1, 2, 3 or signals and systems or digital signal processing as a degree stopping paper. I wanted to change that approach. The DSP is not a degree stopping paper. It is a digital signal processing paper, which have a lot of mathematics. For what purpose you have to learn? Because when you want to build an application like UAV, without signal processing, you cannot achieve your objectives. So that motivates you to work on or learn that subject with more hands-on. So now the question is, when I want to learn control system or circuits or signal processing or sensors with more hands-on, foundationally strong, how do I learn? What type of tool should I use? Should I use MATLAB or C program or Java program, or what type of programming knowledge I should use? Yes, there are tools which are good at doing circuits very, very nicely. There are tools which are very popular to do on control systems. There are tools very good at embedded systems, etc. But it is very important, use the right tool. Because your end objective is to build a UAV. And in order to build the UAV, you have to learn these foundations, circuits, controls, sensors. You have to learn this advanced control system, embedded systems, software-defined radios. But if you are learning all these core subjects and the subsystems with the different tools, what will happen? You will become a tool expert. You will forget what you want to do. So it is very important as an individual to take a decision, what type of tool or what number of minimum tool I should use so that my end result will not be deviated. Your end result is building a project, building a product, which has an interdisciplinary nature. Okay. This is another very interesting slide. When you're choosing the right tool in your second year till the final year, you should see the relevance of, can I use it in my third semester subjects like circuits, electrical circuits, electronic circuits, machines, electrical machines lab. In the higher semesters like communication, analog, digital, RF, wireless communications, embedded systems, biomedical, etc. If you're from non-electrical engineering background like mechanical or mechatronics or aeronautical, can I use the tool, the software or hardware in my third semester like measurements, mechatronics, IC engine lab, or automated testing lab, or robotics lab, or dynamics lab? So whether you are a non-electrical engineering group of students or a electrical ECE, EEE, E&I group of students, can we use the same tool starting from second year till the final year to build a product? What type of product? I'll show you a video. This is a small project, a 2 minutes video. If you carefully look at this video, you can see kinematics, you can see path planning algorithm, you can see control system, the cycle is stable, it is not falling. You can see it is following some pattern, using an image processing technique, camera. It also have a embedded controller. I don't know what controller, but embedded controller. And putting all these things together, we can able to build a system. For your information, this was a project done by students in the first year. And if you want to build your skills and competencies to the level of building a complete system in the early stage, you should use the right tools. And that is what National Instruments give it to you. So I will give the name of the tool, which is the LabVIEW. Some of you may aware because your college will have a LabVIEW software. You would have been Googled it about LabVIEW. LabVIEW is a software which I keep on referring as the right tool at this point of time. LabVIEW will help you to build a system like this, the video which I have played. The LabVIEW which will help you to use from your second semester till the final semester, variety of subjects, variety of labs, variety of concepts to learn. The LabVIEW can be used effectively where you can innovate fast. In a simple form, if I wanted to help you to understand what is this LabVIEW, it is a programming language like other programming language like C or MATLAB, etc. But the biggest difference is, number one, it has 100% graphical programming. So you no need to remember any syntax or commands. You might have been experienced when you do something on C programming, you have to remember a lot of syntax and commands. You should know where to put a semicolon, where to put a open brace, printf, scanf, etc. So the first benefit what LabVIEW will give it to you is no programming. The way your mind thinks, the same way you can able to program. The second thing is LabVIEW is not a tool only help you to do simulation. It can also integrated with the hardware. When I say hardware, it can connect with any type of sensors, any type of motors, any type of embedded processors. For example, you can Google it later. LabVIEW worked with a variety of Arduino boards. There is a toolkit called LIFA, L-I-F-A, LabVIEW interface for Arduino boards. LabVIEW can talk to your FPGAs. LabVIEW can talk to your DSP processors. So the biggest second advantage what LabVIEW will give it to the user community is the seamless integration between the software and the hardware, so that you don't need to worry about programming, you don't need to worry about coding, you can focus on innovations. Okay, the last part of my slide, the presentation is NI, which is a multinational American company, headquartered at Texas, Austin. Some of you would have been Googled it about National Instruments, when it was started, what is the turnover, revenue, where the company have branches, etc., etc. We are also very social responsible company. As an example today, because we are very popular in the industries, there are 15 different type of industries who are all working on products development like ventilator at current situation. Some universities are doing research in developing a mask which can be reusable. We know the importance of mask today. How do we reuse those masks? How do we enhance the lifetime of the mask? What type of material we should use? How do we test that mask? Right. So being a National Instruments automated test and automated measurement company leader, we work with these 15 different type of industries and helping the whole world to live in a better place. You can Google it and you will get to know more details about what NI does in these specific industries at this point of time. Okay, another very interesting point which I want to share is, as a company, we also wanted to support the academic community continue in your learning. We don't want you to stop your learning. When I say learning, it is not learning 5 subjects which is given in your semester, or 2 labs or 3 labs which is part of your semester. When I'm saying learning, you have to go back and remember my slides, how to build the skills which is required by the industry, like hands-on learning, project-based learning, critical thinking, applying your foundation knowledge to the level of product development or project, interdisciplinary working nature, etc. So being a multinational American company with our tools, we wanted to support the academic community in these 5 forms. One is online training. The second one is the batch program. The third one is certifications. The fourth one, enhancement in your teaching learning. The fifth one is access of the software. I will go over each of these boxes. When I say online learning, I will give you the link in my slide also. The link is learn.ni.com/training. If you go to the link, you will have access of around 40 different type of courses. These courses are usually a paid course. People usually pay somewhere close to 35,000 rupees for each course, and they will undergo a training of 30 to 40 hours. All these courses made it free for the engineering community. So you can log in learn.ni.com/training and you can access all these courses, around 30, 40 different type of courses, where you can plan yourself what type of courses you wanted to learn and what frequency you wanted to learn. All the guidelines are given, and each course, what would be the objective and what would be the expected outcome. And these courses, you can schedule it yourself in the next 1 month time to prepare your career. There are some example I wanted to show. This is one LinkedIn printout I have taken. A group of students from Sri Shakti Institute of Engineering, they could able to complete different type of courses, and they also got a result of 87%, 93%, etc. So at the end of each course, you will have a test, a kind of test, which will tell you how much you understood. You can take multiple times also. The second one is, okay, this is basically a course completion certificate, okay? Once you complete the first course, you will get the completion certificate. The second box which I have shown is a batch program. You learned, let us take 4 different type of courses. You learned LabVIEW Core 1, Core 2. You learned data acquisition. You learned how to build a embedded system project. So these 4 courses, whatever you learned, you have to test yourself. We call that test as a batch program. The moment you take the self-assessment of your learning, you will get a digital acclaim, which you can use it in your social medias and in social communities. For example, these are all different, 20 different type of, or 25 different type of batch program. You can read yourself LabVIEW for design pattern. LabVIEW environment itself, if you are familiar, you can take the assessment. If you are good at AC signal, DC signal, if you are good at instrument fundamentals, if you are good at oscilloscope, which you are using in your labs, right? So how much you know all this foundation along with the programming. Please remember, this is not only LabVIEW skill test. How do you use these skills into a foundation? That's why you can see some of the topics mentioned as measurement fundamentals, sensors and signals, measurement error, AC signal, DC signal, etc. Right? So once you have the learnings completed in the online training link, the respective batch program you can undergo and evaluate yourself and acquire a digital acclaim like I have completed this and this is my credential, which you can share it in your social media. For example, this is 5 days before, one of the engineer from Indian Institute of Science, he has completed the LabVIEW channel wire communication. So he has undergone the training and he has taken a batch program and he got a recognition as this particular credential he has acquired. The third one is the globally recognized certification. If you are really interested to take your career to the level of NI-based technology, we also help you with a different level of certifications. The preliminary level called associate developer, then developer, then architect. Again, these certifications have multiple levels, multiple topics, and some of them are free, to be very frank, because of the COVID-19 situation. As a support, we wanted to help the academic community, and some of them are 50% discounted also. Compared to the previous two topics which I spoke about, the online training, all the 3940 courses are completely free till 31st May. The batch program, which is 100% free, there is no single rupee you have to pay. With respect to the globally recognized certification, some of them are 50% discounted. The associate developer is completely free for a time-bounded time or first-come, first-served basis. Probably you can Google it, you will get to know the exact time period till what time these certification exams are freely available to take up. Okay, what is the benefit of taking a globally recognized certification? This will also tell you, because the first two are purely a learning and doing a self-assessment. This will tell you how much you are deeper in the tools and technologies. If you Google it today, LabVIEW jobs, the companies will list, okay, the student should have this particular credential skill set, and they will also mention you should have level 1 certification like associate developer or developer or architect. So that is the reason this is also equal importance when you look at internship level or jobs level opportunities. The fourth box is enhancement in the teaching learning. There are a good number of courses available. For example, you are a third year student, you are learning currently electrical circuit or electronic circuits or signals and systems. Unfortunately, the course could not able to get complete. You wanted to continue that subject. This link will tell you how to continue your electrical circuits or electronic circuits like analog electronics or digital electronics or op-amp based circuits or whatever the subjects. We have somewhere close to 350 course materials, which is accessible, where you can continue your learning irrespective of your semester and discipline. The fifth one, okay, there are a lot of resources available, but without having a software installed in my laptop or desktop, how do I practice? So as an initiative, again, National Instruments supporting the academic community by downloading the LabVIEW software as well as Multisim software, student edition, which will be more than sufficient for you to do a lot of work. If you're really looking for some specific tool, feel free to contact us. I can able to give you that access also if there is a need which can justify for you to build your application or project. And this is another interesting link. You can Google it later, which is called a Multisim Live. Multisim is a analog digital power electronic circuit simulation software. Even you don't need to download the software. If you have internet access, you can build your circuit in the online web browser itself. You can collaborate with other university professors, students, etc., and you can able to build your own circuit also and see how that circuit works. It can be a simple filter rectifier circuit, or it can be a Darlington pair amplifier circuit, or it can be a Kirchhoff's law circuit, or it can be a circuit from your Electronics for You magazine where you wanted to build a project, etc. Okay. This is another very interesting link which I want to share as part of our support activity from corporate. These courses are recommended from AICTE in their eList portal, Enhancement in Learning with Improvement Skills. So the three topics which I spoke about, online training, the batch program, which is the champion, LabVIEW champion, and the teaching resources. These all are available in the eList portal also. You don't need to worry. If you can go to AICTE/eList portal or free training course portal, those National Instrument courses also listed there. Okay. If you look at here, these all are software, right? I wanted to test my circuit in the hardware, a real resistor capacitor, or I wanted to test the experiment by encoder decoders, or I wanted to develop a PID control system by stabilizing an inverted pendulum, etc. So there are three examples I want to take. If you are really passionate about to learn control systems in an undergraduate level or advanced level, in the AICTE eList portal itself, you can see a link called Quanser Experience Controls app. So download this app. It's a free again. You can learn all the control system concepts, and Quanser developed a remote lab which has the physical hardware. You can control those hardware based on the PID algorithm or fuzzy algorithm which you developed. Interesting, right? So get experience on downloading this app and take a control of real hardware also. The same way, if you are passionate about to undergo deeper in your analog communication or digital communication or wireless communication based experiments, I would recommend to go for a specific link called Yamuna TIMS. Again, it is available in the AICTE portal itself, which will help you to strengthen your communication based knowledge. Again, the remote lab was established in Australia, which is the headquarter of Yamuna. By sitting in your place through the internet, you can able to conduct the experiment in the real hardware. The details are given in the respective links. The same way in Bangalore, you might have been heard about this college called SIT, Siddhaganga Institute of Technology. They established a remote lab very specifically for analog electronics using National Instruments hardware. Again, you can, this link also available in the website of AICTE eList. So the idea is, don't stop your learning at the simulation level. If you're really serious about how to test your algorithm concepts in the hardware like control systems area or communication area or circuits area, there is an opportunity. So you can log in and you can do the experiment with the real hardware, real component, real setup, and you can evaluate my circuit, how does it work in the simulation and what type of result you are getting. And when you try to do the same thing in the hardware, how does it work and what type of results you are getting. And this is the link. Don't worry. I have all your email IDs. I will send you the link of all this. The first one is training materials. The second one is the catalog. For example, you don't need to learn all the 39 courses of free online resources. If you want to become an embedded system engineer, or you want to become a wireless communication engineer, or you want to become a control system engineer, then the course catalog page will give you a recommendation. You have to learn very specifically these 3 or 4 courses which will help you to become an embedded engineer, or these 3 or 4 courses which will help you to become an IoT engineer. So that is what the course catalog will guide you. And batch program, which I already spoke about, the globally recognized certification, 350 plus teaching courses, downloading the software, and the remote labs. And this I did not give much emphasis, but this is the time I can open up. There is a link where you can also learn what are all the cutting edge research the whole world is working on, particularly in communication, in energy, which is the smart grid, microgrid, renewable energies, automotive. Today, if you look at any vehicle, more than 80% it is electronics, 20% is mechanical, the chassis, the ECUs, the body, etc. Okay, the body and chassis are pretty much still the mechanical portion, but the rest of the things are electronics. So you can also go through these specific links. What is the evolution happening in communication and automotive industries and energy sectors? Yeah, I'm done. Almost 1 hour. The summary is very simple takeaway. Learn different tools. Nothing wrong, because this is the time you have to explore. You have to learn different tools of engineering. But don't limit yourself going behind one tools. Today, I spoke about National Instruments and you all are registered for this program. But don't think that not learning MATLAB or not learning C program would be good for you. You should have some basic understanding and knowledge about those tools also. But it is highly important to choose the right tool where you can learn many things. And that is what National Instruments LabVIEW and NI Hardware can help you to do that. And this is my email ID. I have your email ID. I sent the invitation to you. You all accepted. So you have my email ID already. After this presentation, probably what I will do, I will share the presentation and the link. Even I will send you another link where you can see a step-by-step procedure of how to access all these links. If you can go through and spend some time on those links, I'm sure you can able to do a good amount of work during this time. So with this, thank you so much for the time, and thank you so much for the invitation from SJBIT. Currently, this meeting was attended by almost 2 people. I was really amazed by looking at the number. I was initially thinking 30, 40 people will attend, because you have a lot of priorities, you have a lot of flexibilities, freedom to do at this point of time. But still, I'm very happy to see 2 is a big number attending a 1-hour session and willing to learn a LabVIEW course in your free time. Fine. That's all from my side. I will switch on my video for a closing note.
Thank you very much, Vishweshwaran.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thanks for the participants. I am seeing in the meeting chat so many people are giving the greets to you. You have done a wonderful session today. Even tomorrow's session, we have started with the basic learnings of LabVIEW. And we required the help from the Vishweshwaran in all aspects. Give all the details and to our participants with respect to what they're asking, the slides, whatever the details and all the things. Thank you very much. You have given a good support to us to be doing this program. Hopefully, at the end, we'll get the good response from our participants.
Sure. All the best. All of you have my email ID and contact number. Feel free to call me. Not picking the call, don't worry. Send me a WhatsApp message or text me or email me so that I will understand and respond to you back.
Thank you, Mr. Vishweshwaran, from all of us here from SJBIT team.
Thank you, sir.
You have given an excellent start for this 5 days webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I hope all the participants have enjoyed and explored on various aspects, right from latest domain requisites, various tools. Excellent start for this, and probably even you have given how LabVIEW can support the present scenario on COVID-19 issue, and all that. Totally, it was a good start, and I thank all the participants, the coordinating team, and Mr. Vishweshwaran for all the support. Thank you from my side.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you.